Dear friends, see last time we talked about what is a capacitor and capacitance. We also derived the equation of value of a parallel plate capacitance. Now we proceed further. Now see we have to see electrostatics of conductor. Now see our lesson deals with the static charges. That means charges are at rest. Now whenever generally we talk of a conductor, in this lesson we assume they are metallic conductors. Now we studied about configuration of metallic solids in our 11th standard. Now what are the important point here? See, the first point is this: the electrostatic field inside the conductor is zero. Okay, how? Why? Because the charges are distributed in such a way, okay, that there will be no undistributed charge, okay, so the electric field will be zero. On the outer surface of the conductor, electric field at every point is perpendicular field. Now we can take a very simple example. Now let us say we say the charges are distributed like this. Now see, this we can consider as a equipotential surface, and we know on an equipotential surface electric field is always perpendicular to the surface, that we have studied earlier. Now the interior of the conductor have no excess charge in static condition. Now what we can see here, see this is a conductor and the charges are distributed like this. See, inside the conductor there is no excess charges or no extra charges. Now see, the electrostatic potential is constant throughout of the volume of the conductor and have the same value at the surface. Now that means that, now suppose the conductor, all the points inside the conductor will have the same potential, and that potential will be equal to that on the surface of the surface. And finally, electric field at the surface of the conductor, charged conductor, is given by E is equal to sigma upon epsilon 0 into. Now see, in the first lesson we derived the formula of electric field of a parallel plate, electric field of a uniformly charged plane surface. See, that was E is equal to sigma upon 2 epsilon 0 into n k. But remember, this was for uniformly charged plane surface, where contrary to this value is for the any surface under consideration. Now see, next we have to derive, say, electric field at any point on the surface of the conductor. Now we take a conductor of any arbitrary shape. Now we say a pillbox type of conductor. For simplicity, we consider a cylindrical cross section. We assume that this cross section is also very small. Okay. Now, and the area of the cross section is delta S. Now let us say the surface charge density of this charged conductor is sigma. See, for simplicity we assume that sigma is positive value. Now what we can understand, that the part of the conductor is inside and the part of the conductor is outside. Now see, at every point of the conductor electric field is normal to the plane or the surface. Now see, we have to calculate the electric field associated with this surface. Now what we see here, the cross section area will be in this direction. So here electric field is perpendicular to delta S. Okay, so the flux passing is E dot delta S, that is E into delta S cos 0. Cos 0 is 1. Okay, now we have to use the Gaussian formula. So by Gauss theorem, that is known to us. Now here the surface charge density sigma, delta S is the area. So we can say in 1 meter square sigma charge, then in delta S area charge will be sigma q. So sigma q is sigma upon epsilon, that we can substitute here. Okay, sigma q we can write as sigma into delta S. Okay, again in 1 meter square area charge is sigma in delta S. So by cross multiplication we get this value. So the flux is sigma into delta S upon epsilon 0. Now what we can see, both of the equation represent the flux. So by comparing 1 and 2, E into delta S. Okay, so we can represent in a vector form. Why? Because see, the electric field is a vector quantity. This is how we can obtain the electric field at any point on the charged conductor. Now see here, we assume that the conductor is of any arbitrary shape and delta S is a very small area. See, our next topic is dielectric. Now see, in the 11th standard or in the 10th standard also you studied about conductor and insulator. Now see, conductors, see, the generally most of the metal comes into that category, but here the insulator we say in a specific category, that is called comes dielectric. See, the materials which are bad conductor of electricity are called dielectric. Now generally here in static electricity they do not have free charge. Okay, this type of material do not have. Now see, our day-to-day life example are rubber and plastic are insulator, okay, or a dielectric. Now dielectric we broadly divide into two parts. One is a polar dielectric and non-polar. Okay, now see, polar dielectric, in chemistry also you study about polar molecules. So here materials whose atoms or molecules possess dipole moment are called polar dielectric. Okay, materials whose atoms or molecule possess dipole moment are called polar dielectric. See, example of are HCl, H2, okay, that you also you study in the chemistry. And non-polar dielectric, so materials whose atoms or do not possess dipole moment are called non-polar dielectric materials. See, the polar dielectric materials whose atoms or molecule possess dipole moment are called polar dielectric, whereas materials whose atoms or molecule do not possess dipole moment are called non-polar materials. Or so in non-polar molecules we can say O2 or N2. Okay, so see, this is the basic definition of polar and non-polar dielectric. Now see what happened. Suppose see a conductor, okay, is placed in a uniform electric field. Okay, now suppose the conductor is placed in a uniform external field. Now what happened? See, because of the force of the electric field, see, the electric field will be induced inside the conductor, that will be EE. But see, the arrangement of this electric field will be such that E0 plus En will be 0. Okay, both will cancel out each other. But see, the dielectric materials Okay, suppose there is a uniform external field and we place a dielectric material inside the conductor. Dielectric material is a uniform external field, but in that case, see what we have seen in case of conductor, E0 plus En is 0, but in case of dielectric material, E0 plus En is not equal to 0. How this is not equal to 0, that we have to see in the subsequent topics. Now see, next we have to see how do the polar or non-polar dielectric behave when they are placed in an external electric field. Now see, when a polar or non-polar dielectric is placed in an external field, see, because of the force of the electric field, see, the charges are separated, okay, and inside the dielectric, see, a electric field is produced, but see, the direction of this electric field, it is in opposite direction. So as a result, the resultant electric field decreases. Now see, the process of separating charges or producing dipole moment is called polarization. Okay, now see, the polarization is denoted as P, and EP is a electric field produced due to polarization. Now the experiment shows that, see, the polarization is proportional to E. Now P is equal to chi E into E. Okay, now see, chi E is called electrical susceptibility of materials. Okay, now see, the word susceptibility is new for us. See, that is a characteristic of electrical properties of given material. Okay, so this is about the polarization. See, what we have seen, that when a dielectric material is placed inside the external field, okay, let us say this is external field, because of the force of the electric field, charges are separated. See, the process of separating the charges is called polarization. Okay, now P is, polarization is proportional to E. We put some constant here, that is chi E. Okay, chi E is called the electrical susceptibility of the material. Okay, and that is a characteristic of this. Now see, in our calculation part, polarization, see, the dipole moment produced or induced per unit volume is called polarization. Okay, dipole moment produced or induced per unit volume is called polarization. Now see, for our theoretical part, see, initially we studied about the parallel plate capacitor. Now what we have seen in the parallel plate capacitor, air is the medium. Okay, parallel plate capacitor, C is equal to epsilon 0 A upon D. One plate was positively charged, okay, and second plate was a negative charge. Let us say the distance between the plate is D and A is the area. Okay, A is the area of the plate. Now, and electric field inside it, when air is a medium, was easy. Okay, now see what happened when polar dielectric is placed between the plates of the capacitor. Okay, polar dielectric is placed between the plates of the capacitor. Now, as we have seen earlier, See, the materials of polar dielectric possess dipole moment. Okay, now that means the charges are separated. Okay, they possess net dipole moment. Now what happens when a polar dielectric is placed between the plates of the parallel plate capacitor? Now we know in 1 mole number of molecules are very large, but here for simplicity we show only some few molecules. Now see, the dipoles are arranged. Okay, now these are something hypothetical. We assume that this condition is the ideal condition, that all the dipole moments are arranged parallel to each other. Now see what happened because of the property of the material. Okay, now see, let us say the dipole are arranged like this. Now what happened? See, this charge plus and minus will cancel. This charge will cancel. This charge also will cancel. This and this. But what we see here, see the net charge. Initially the condition was like this. See, the electric field was E0. But what we have seen, because of the presence of the dielectric, see, a dipole moment is induced in the between the plates of the capacitance. That is because of the presence of the dielectric material. That material will be in the opposite direction. Okay, and that is because of the polarization that we call as EP. Now see what we see here. E0 is the initial electric field. EP is a bounded electric field. Okay, but we have seen that direction of the bounded electric field is in the opposite direction of the initial electric field. So from this we can say these two vectors are quantity are in the opposite direction. So net when polar dielectric material is placed between plates of parallel plate capacitor. Okay, so when polar dielectric material is placed between the plates of a parallel plate capacitor, see, because of the bounded electric field is produced and that direction is in the opposite direction of the initial electric field, the resultant electric field decreases. Okay, now next we have to see that we have to prove that when polar dielectric is placed between the plates of the capacitor which have a dielectric constant K, see, the capacitance value increases, or we have to prove that capacitance value K times the initial value. Now initially air was the medium, electric field was E0, that is E0 is sigma upon epsilon 0. See, that we have seen in the derivation of the parallel plate capacitor. Now let us say the polar dielectric is placed. Now just now we have seen that because of the presence of the dielectric, okay, electric field is induced, that is a bounded electric field. Now see, the direction of bounded electric field will be in opposite direction of the initial field. Now this will, let us say, we call as EP, that is the electric field produced due to polarization. Now initially E0 is sigma p upon epsilon 0. Okay, now because of the presence of the dielectric field, see, the bounded electric field produced is EP is sigma p upon epsilon 0. Now what we see, the direction of both electric field are in the opposite direction. So the net field will be sigma upon epsilon 0 minus sigma p upon epsilon 0, what we can write as sigma minus sigma p upon epsilon 0. Now initially the potential difference was V0, initial electric field E0, and D is the distance between the plates of the capacitor. Okay, so here V is equal to E into D. Now we substitute the value of E. So now the experiment shows that sigma minus sigma p is proportional to sigma. So we can substitute here sigma minus sigma p is equal to sigma upon k. Now see that value we have to substitute here. Now our equation is V is equal to sigma minus sigma 0 upon into D. Now sigma minus sigma p is sigma by k into 1 upon epsilon 0 into D. Okay. Now sigma is a surface charge density Q by A. So V is equal to Q upon A into D upon K epsilon 0. Now see V upon Q will be D upon K E0 A. Now if we take a reciprocal of this K epsilon 0 A upon E. Now initially the capacitance was C0. Okay. Now Q upon V is, see initially what we had, Q upon D0 was C0. Okay. Now Q upon V is C. Okay. Or C dash you can take, or that is also okay. So C dash is equal to K epsilon 0 A upon D. Now we can write like this. Again epsilon 0 A upon D is C, that is initial value of capacitance. So what we get is C dash is equal to K into C. Okay. Now see this is an important formula. So what we can say, when dielectric slab polar is placed between plates of parallel plate capacitor, capacitance value increases to K times initial value. Okay, so what we can say here, when a dielectric slab which have a constant value K, generally K value is positive and it is greater than 1. Okay, that we have to keep in mind. So when dielectric slab is placed between the plates of a parallel plate capacitor, see the capacitance value increases to K times initial value. So far we have studied about parallel plate capacitor, where air was the medium, electric field was E0, the potential difference was V0 is equal to E0 into D, and C is epsilon 0 E upon D. But what we have seen, see between the plates of the capacitor, if we place a dielectric material which have a constant K, the electric field becomes E0 by K, that is decreased by a factor of K. See the potential also factor of by K, and the capacitance value becomes K times. See that is very important, we have to keep in mind. Now see we have studied about parallel plate capacitor. Next we have to study about the series combination of the capacitor. Can be asked in 2 marks question. Explain. Okay, now see, let us say 2 capacitor of value, capacitance value C1 and C2, C are joined between the battery of voltage V. Now see what we have to remember here. See in the series connection of the capacitor, see the charge across each capacitor will remain same. Okay, in series connection of capacitor, charge across each capacitor. That means Q will remain same for both of the capacitor. And this is the potential difference across first capacitor, that is C1, C2. Sum of potential difference across each capacitor is equal to total voltage. Okay, so what we can write here, V will be equal to V1 plus V2. Now we know the formula Q is equal to CV. So V is Q by C. V1 will be Q upon C1. Okay, that we can substitute here. Now V by Q is 1 upon C1. Now Q by V is C, so V by Q is 1 upon C is. Okay. Now this can be written for n number of capacitors also. So this is about the series connection of the capacitor. Now here the charge across each capacitor remains same, and sum of the voltage across each capacitor is equal to total voltage supplied. We can substitute the value and we get value of equivalent capacitance. Now see what we have to remember, that in series connection of the capacitors, equivalent capacitance is smaller than see, this can be easily understood like this. Let us say 2 microfarad 10 volt battery. Now what we use here, 1 upon C1 plus, or we can write C1 C2 upon. Now C1 is 2. Okay. Now see, out of these two capacitors, value 2 is the smallest value, but see the equivalent capacitance is 1.2, that is smaller than 2 also. So we have to remember that in series connection of the capacitor, equivalent capacitance is smaller than the smallest value. Now this is about the series connection of the capacitor. Next we have to see about the parallel connection of the capacitor. This can be asked in a 2-mark question. Parallel okay. See, this is the thing, but the parallel connection of the capacitor. Now, see, in parallel connection of the capacitor, see the voltage across each capacitance remains same. In parallel connection of capacitors, voltage across each capacitor now suppose we connect a voltmeter here or here, we'll get the same value of the potential, that will be equal to supply voltage, and sum of charge across each capacitor is equal to total charge. Now let us say for C1 the charge is Q1, C2 charge is Q, and Q is the total charge of the system. So we can write Q is equal to Q1 plus Q2. That is charge is divided. Now we use the formula Q is equal to CV. That will give Q1 is C1V. We can write similarly. Okay. Now we substitute the values. Q is equal to C1V plus C2V. Q is equal to V common C1 plus V2. Now Q by V is C equivalent, that is the totality of these two capacitance, that is C equivalent is C1 plus C2. Okay, so this is about the parallel connection of the capacitors. Now see, in parallel connection of capacitor, equivalent value is larger than largest. Okay, now this is regarding the parallel connection of the capacitor. See what we have seen here. See, in parallel connection of the capacitor, see the voltage across each capacitor remains same and charge is divided, and sum of the charge across each capacitor is equal to total charge, that is Q is equal to Q1 plus Q2. We can substitute here. See, the voltage remains same, so Q1 will be C1V, Q2 will be C2V. So we can substitute the value and we get the value C equivalent is C1 plus C2. Also, in parallel connection of the capacitor, equivalent capacitance is larger than the largest. We can take a simple example. Let us say a 2 microfarad and 3 microfarad capacitance are connected to a battery. Okay. Now what we get here, C equivalent C1 plus C2. Now see, out of these two, the largest value is 3 microfarad. But see, our equivalent capacitance 5, which is larger than the largest value. So what we have to remember, that in parallel connection of the capacitor, equivalent capacitance of the value is larger than the largest value.